let me share with you an example of a clearly weak government in the United States of America. This is the Wikipedia page of the current Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. In China, people make fun of him. People call him Rubiao. Because this Secretary of State, there's two things about him that is damn funny and damn weak. Is that first, he is being sanctioned by China. And yet Donald Trump appoint him to be the Secretary of State. And because you are being sanctioned by China, you cannot go and conduct foreign affairs. You cannot even have a meeting with the Foreign Affairs Minister of China, Wang Yi. And the second thing about this Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is that I am not sure what is the latest information we have right now, but based on the Wikipedia page of this Marco Rubio, according to as of 2018, his net worth was negative, owing more than 1.8 million. So, you know, the most powerful and the most richest country in the world that we have unqualified admiration for is the United States of America. And then it is being governed by this kind of Secretary of State called Marco Rubio. And I was having a chat with my friend. So one of my friends, he told me something. He said, it's okay one. If Marco Rubio owe his creditors 1.8 million, if that is true, even until today, it's okay one. Do you know why? Because his boss is President Trump. And nobody will dare to ask President Trump for his worker who is working under Trump to pay up the 1.8 million dollars, right? So his creditors lan lan bo bian. Alright? Okay, so this is quite funny. And I think this is an example that I think all Singaporeans must be aware of what is called a strong government and a weak government. This is an example of a very weak government in the United States of America. Because people like Ronald Reagan already said that government is not the solution, government is the problem. So the United States is actually full of people who distrust strong government. So this is probably an example of weak government. Regardless of the method that the government gets into power, whether is it by voting or whatever other means, it does not matter. We have to know what is the difference between a strong government and a weak government. And here I want to share, what will I do if, let's say, I am Prime Minister of a country, and then the person which I feel that I really must appoint as my Secretary of State or Foreign Affairs, or in charge of Foreign Affairs, he owed the creditors 1.8 million. For whatever reason, it can be due to any reason, maybe business failure or whatever reason. What will I do if I'm the Prime Minister or the President? What I will do to make sure that my Secretary of State in charge of the Foreign Affairs can run his duties for the country and serve the country peacefully without being harassed by the creditors, is that as Prime Minister, as President, I will take the initiative to instruct my finance ministry in charge to go and talk to his creditors who are claiming the 1.8 million from him, to maybe work out a repayment plan or whatever, maybe deduct from the salary that as the country I give to the Secretary of State. I think if, let's say, face this kind of scenario, this is what a sensible President or Prime Minister will actually do to make sure that the Secretary of State can carry out his duties in peace. So this, although I am not so sure, we cannot verify because this news was as of 2018, but you imagine this kind of, this one I'm not sure, but this is a clear example of a weak government. You have a damn funny Secretary of State that is being sanctioned by China for the anti-China remarks.